Kristen Norris here from Shape Your World Coaching. I hope you're having an incredible day, a very happy weekend, and a happy Sunday wherever you are, and actually whatever day of the week it is when you're watching this. I am in sunny, well it was sunny, now I might have to take shelter under a tree while I record this. Sunny England, north of London, kind of, I think it's northeast-ish, or maybe northwest, anyway, north of London, and it is starting to rain, so you're gonna see me seeking cover here. I'm on this beautiful path, and yeah, I'll just share while I'm looking for cover. I'm on this beautiful path. This is England summer, by the way. This is really typical. You can get really sunny and then it decides to bucket it down in the afternoon, which is what it's currently doing. I think there's a tree up here. Yeah, because you're gonna get loads of raindrops and I'm gonna get super wet. Let's find somewhere I can get cover. Anyway, if ever a case for doing what you gotta do, right? Making adjustments, realigning, whatever works, whatever you need. This is it. Fantastic, fantastic. I think I found a little bit of cover here. Now can you see me? That's a better question. Here we go. So, Kristen Norris. I'm in a place called Hertfordshire, north-ish, north of London. And I'm house and pet sitting and have felt guided to record this video for and with all of you. Funny that it's decided to bucket it down a little bit as I do this, but that's okay. That's okay. We make adjustments. Everything works. And part of why I felt guided to share this video with all of you. Actually, I'm gonna go like that because raindrops on my glasses are distracting me. Now you get me in all my glorious non-glasses wonder. Oh. So yeah, this is me, fresh and real, no makeup. Yeah. Where was I? So I felt guided to make and share this video with all of you. Partly due to things that have been going on for me in my life and my journey. And so I'll start there. And as ever, follow the flow because things come to me as I'm talking. It's part of being open. It's part of one of my gifts, which is I'm a natural channel. It's just something that I do without even thinking, so stuff can kind of flow through me. And that's what I like to do actually in sessions with clients as well. Always checking in with them as well along the way, but following the flow and really allowing yourself to be open to whatever is the energy that needs to come through in things is such a gift. And so yeah, something I greatly appreciate being able to do as well for people. So that's what I do in these videos also. So let's see where we go. and I'll start with what's been going on for me. I woke up last night. I had this kind of crazy dream. It was really vivid. I'll share. I have always been a really vivid dreamer. My dreams are rich in color. It's like I'm watching a movie oftentimes. I can see things outside of myself. It's like I'm standing behind slightly just watching, or like, I don't know, just to the left or whatever. And that's how last night's dream was as well. And it was interesting because the bit that I remember that's really kind of stuck with me, our dreams are always much longer than what we actually remember in the daylight hours. But what I remember, and the things that we do remember, we remember for a reason as well. It's something like a really big learning lesson for us usually, is something to really contemplate. And for me, I'm picturing it as I'm talking. So it was like dusk, kind of nighttime, but it was summer, it was warm. And I feel like I was in a desert somewhere, like we were somewhere deserty. I don't know, like Arizona or Mexico or something like that. Maybe Nevada, I don't know. But somewhere deserty, and there was like this panel. in front of me, a panel of people, I mean. Kind of like if you see the shows American Idol or X Factor or anything like that. So it's like they were on a stage almost, kind of looking down and watching me, and there were several. And they were observing and sort of not judging, but like constructively critiquing. I almost feel like they were going to give me scores, but I don't know if they actually were, but it felt like that in the dream. And I knew I had something on one of my fingernails, and it was something kind of dirty and yucky, and I thought at first, oh my gosh, have I put it in dog poo? Because that's not nice. So I was looking down and I realized there was a snail, like part of a snail attached to my finger, and that the other part was somewhere on the ground. And that without thinking, because I knew I had been in a rush in the dream up till that point, and so somehow without thinking, or maybe I was rushing or in a hurry or trying to get away somewhere, the rest of the snail ended up on the ground, smashed. And so what was on my finger was like the rest of it, and in the dream I was horrified. I was like, ah, gross, gross, and I was just waving my hand, like that, you know, trying to get it off. And I couldn't get it off. It was hanging on for dear life, poor thing. And so in the dream, I apologized to it. I said, I'm so sorry, but I gotta get you off my finger. And so I grabbed, for some reason I had all these papers next to me. It was like a binder full of papers. It was like my research. And actually I'm realizing as I'm talking where all this is coming from. But anyway, so it was loads of research, and it was all my studies. And I grabbed a piece of paper that I thought maybe wouldn't be quite as important, so it was okay if I use it for this. And I grabbed it, I pulled it off. It had, for those who have ever worked in offices, you might know what I'm talking about, like when you hole punch in one corner, usually the left-hand corner, and then it's like this little string that goes through all the corners and has metal on either side to hold the string in place. So it was like that. It was really old school. And anyway, so I grabbed a piece that I thought was okay, and it like came off the string bit, and I folded it with my left hand and went and reached on my right hand to get a snail off, and in so doing, knowing I was going to be crushing it and apologizing to it, but saying, I've got to get you off, I'm so sorry, and knowing it was dying anyway. And then the next thing I remember in the dream, it was like it fast forwarded a bit in the movie montage of my dream, and my glasses, actually these glasses, I put them on and literally were like falling off, and I realized there was a screw missing from this bit. And so the part that goes from the main frame to your ear like that, it kept falling off because there was no screw to hold it on. And I remember in the dream saying to myself and feeling, well, I know I'm decluttering stuff anyway, and it's time to move on to something new, so this is just a part of it. So that was my dream. Pretty vivid, kind of in some bits, right? But that was it. And I'm gonna see if it stopped raining, because I saw some people walking earlier. I think we're okay. Alright, so in the dream, then, are these okay? So I woke up knowing that there was something significant about that dream. And part of what was significant about it was that I was just reflecting on this, and that's what prompted me to record this video. Because I looked at the meaning of what snails are in dreams. What does it mean? What does it symbolize? And what was shared kind of made me feel a little sad. I was like, oh, a little sad, because I'm an animal lover as well. But the bit about the crushed snail, that was specifically one of the meanings you can have, one of the things that you can see in your dream, which kind of took me aback, because that felt like a really weird thing to dream, and I've never dreamed anything like that before. But anyway, it symbolizes and means that there's a part of you that really wants to rush ahead and get things moving, that you're tired of things going slow like a snail, and you really just want to get to your next part, and it is the direction you need to be going. Like, it's time for you to get a move on, and it's okay to say goodbye to this nail. But with it being crushed, that there's an aspect you need to be careful, because there's a fear there that you might step on people along the way, that you might do things non-sophisticatedly and you might hurt some people in the process. It might be clumsy, it might be a little bit like a bull in a china shop. So that's the dream. Bicyclists going by. I'm on this beautiful path, this greenway path, so there's lots of people out. And so it's interesting for me with that dream. I'll take a pause. Hello. There are loads of dogs here being walked. So anyway, so with that dream, it's interesting for me because I know the fear of upsetting people, the fear of saying things and not being tactful or diplomatic, the fear of getting things wrong and potentially hurting people in the process has been something like a really big fear for me throughout my life in this current lifetime. From the time I was really little. And part of it, I understand in this lifetime where it relates from, is that I would just blurt stuff out. I would just say things. And sometimes it was stuff that was said in our family, and I didn't understand that certain things are okay. Well, my parents later said to me that certain things are okay to say in your family, but not to other people. And basically, I'm just going to share this. It was something my mom said about one of our school teachers that wasn't very nice. My mom was not being nice about this lady. My mom didn't like her. And anyway, and so I heard that. I think I was like 5. Yeah, I was in kindergarten, so I was probably 5, maybe 6. And I think it was the next night was parent-teacher night at school. And so my mom was there, and I think my dad may have been there as well, but anyway, my mom definitely was. And we went to the particular teacher, and as we were saying goodbye after that teacher's meeting, and she had said, oh, Krista's this, Krista's that, sharing with my parents, and I was so happy about it, I said in front of my mom, guess what my mom said about you last night? And I just said it all, and my mom looked mortified, and the teacher was like, oh, thank you, Krista, for telling me. Yeah, so from a really early age in this lifetime, I've had the worry of saying too much, of saying the wrong thing, potentially getting people's feelings hurt, potentially causing harm for and in my family, and difficulties for family members, which of course no child wants to do for their parent. So that fear has been with me in this lifetime a long time, and part of why it's something that is still in the underseeping of my subconscious is that I've realized, and those of you watching this, you very likely will be beginning to think to yourself, I wonder, that thing that happens in my life, that repeating pattern, maybe it's something I've had since I was a really young child. Well, it could also be something that relates to even a past lifetime. And that could be part of why it's such a big recurring issue for you in this lifetime, and or a recurring underlying subconscious fear. And that's definitely the case for me. In my previous lifetime, just before this one, so in the linear timeline, because we are multidimensional beings, so we can have parallel lives, we can have other dimensional lives, but sticking with this linear timeline, chronological timeline, the life I had just before this one was in Nazi Germany. Talk about fears of saying the wrong thing, right? Talk about fear that what you say could hurt people, or speaking your opinion, or sharing what other people say could hurt others. Talk about that being a really big fear that could come through. Well, of course, it makes perfect sense, right? And that's definitely the case for me. In the lifetime in Germany, I think, I'm just checking. Is this a new pathway? Here we go. I'm going this way now. All right. In that lifetime, I was very, very well known. I was also a historical figure. I was known for speaking my mind. Just blurting it out and saying, well, it's the truth. Right? It's the truth. And sometimes it helped people, and sometimes it hurt people's feelings and so on. Well, I was in a position, my soul was in a position of being connected to and with others in political power. I just realized where I am. I'll show you this and I'll get back to my story. This is like a little hidey hole. How funny is this? So you can like look at ducks, presumably in wildlife. Oh, there they are. Okay, so back to my story. I'm gonna go the other way now. So that person that I was in that lifetime, I was consistently surrounded by people in positions of power. And I didn't quite get, well, I understood, but I kind of on one level didn't care, because it was like, this is too important. You know, excuse my swearing, fuck that. You know, I'm not going to keep quiet about this when it's important. And so that was my mindset. And so I would say stuff, and potentially it wasn't always nice about some of those other political people, which, you know, obviously could upset them, did in certain situations. And my husband in that life and I were warned about my big mouth by, I'm just going to share this, by Hitler. And when I found out all of this stuff, when I went in and started healing this particular lifetime in my Akashic records, close to 5 months ago now, yeah, cue the tears. Lots of tears, lots of healing, as you can imagine. And it's been really fascinating for me to see and to realize, I've got some more walkers, so it's going to get a little bit loud for a second, but to see and realize how much it is still an energy and a fear that has come with me in this lifetime. And that's part of what happens. You know, on one level, it's like, well, duh, of course it does. Of course. On the other level, it does still kind of surprise me how this stuff really works in practice, and so much. It still boggles my mind and amazes me. But part of what happens is that if we have a lifetime, and you don't need to be a historical figure, you could have been average Joe Schmo or Jane Schmaine, and still had something that really affected you. And the point is that in our next lifetime, so the lifetimes we're living now, those energies, those fears will be coming up for us again and again, because it was a effing big fear, you know, an effing big deal, and something our soul does not, we don't forget this stuff lightly or easily, and it can be hard to let go of. It can be hard to release the fear. It can be hard to release feelings of guilt or shame. In the Nazi lifetime, I know there were others that got hurt. And let's see if I can get out this path. The thing in England, they have all these country paths, and I had never really seen this till I moved here, but like, check out that contraption. So that's that noise as I walk and talk. But anyway, you know, so it makes a lot of sense that this stuff can stick with you, right? And, oh, we've got some cows. Interlude, cows. and that's what happens. So we Whenever we go through things in any lifetime, in any dimension, whatever timeline, and there's a lot of energy, a lot of fear, pain, difficulty associated with that lifetime, whoever we were, whether we were man, woman, child, whatever, we carry that stuff into our current lifetimes. That's just how it works. And we can. Let me put it this way. We can. It's always our choice. It is always our choice. Nothing is ever forced on us. And it's part of what we decide upon in the in-between lifetime stage. And we basically review the life we just had. And we decide as a soul, we have time to heal. They don't just get you in the fire. It's not like that. But just go straight out into another lifetime. They don't do that. They give us time, and then whenever we're ready, oh, lovely feathers. Let me see. I keep seeing feathers everywhere. And white butterflies. That's really lovely. Repeating numbers. But anyway, we always decide for ourselves what is an unresolved issue that we're ready to tackle again. And we'd like to get better at. It's like a giant university that we're in each of our lives, and each lifetime is a module of that same course subject. Is a great, that helps me to think about it that way. And so my course subject, you could say, relates to speaking my truth, speaking my mind, and being honest, and stepping up, and not being afraid to be my authentic self and to speak what it is, the way I see things. And and it's not just the prior lifetime in Germany. This goes way, way, way the hell back. I mean, all the way back, the heck back, all the way heck back to ancient Egypt and the lifetime I had there. And there was a lot that happened, and there was a lot just simply by virtue of being me, other people got hurt. And that wasn't my intention, definitely not, but that was a result that happened in this series of events. It's like this galactic soap opera, it's been called. And so yeah, this is a theme for me that keeps coming up, and that's because my soul wants to get better at it and wants me to be able to get better at it, and for it to no longer be an issue, to no longer carry any shame, any fear, any worries, and also to be able to understand that balance, that beautiful balance we all crave, whatever subject we're talking about, whether it's speaking our truth or, I don't know, learning how to twirl a bunch of balls or tops on all of your fingers. It can be anything that our soul wants us to learn. And so it's also about getting that balance for me when we're talking about speaking my truth, of speaking my truth and at the same time doing so from a place of love, from a place of this is genuinely going to help. And also when it's important, when others are at risk of being harmed and we need to speak out to say that stuff is not okay, that's going on. And at the same time, to be balanced, to have a balance of responsibility and to realize the weight of our words. And to be willing to, how do I say this? To be willing to take any action that's needed after we speak our words. Because it does carry a responsibility with it. And we need to be able to honor that and to acknowledge it and to know it and to be okay with it. Other people may not always like what you have to say. They may not always like what I have to say. And that's okay. That's okay. We don't all have to get along in the world. We don't have to be besties. We don't. It's up to us who we would like to be. And at the same time, that shouldn't stop any of us from speaking out and sharing what we need to share. And at the same time, it can be really helpful to remember that at our energetic cores, we are all one. We may not want to hear that. We may not like to hear it or think about it, but we are. We are all made of stardust. We are all drawn from the same core energetic truths. And that is that we are all love. We are all connected to love. That's one of them. But a lot of us have gotten to the point through various lifetimes of being afraid of that and being afraid of what it means for us personally, because it will be different for each person. And there's a lot going on in the world right now. Understatement. And it's really important for each of us to find what is our place of truth, as well as what is our place of love. And it does not mean condoning actions or behaviors that are hurtful or harmful or life endangering to others. It's not about that. It's about saying, yes, what they did was wrong and fucked up. But at the same time, we acknowledge that, we point it out to them, and we are also here to help them understand why it's not okay and to help them become better. To realize that we are all human beings on this planet, and you don't go around with the intent of force and danger. It's not okay. It's not nice. And it's not about being dogmatic and, the historical USian precedent and other world nations of saying our way of governing needs to be your ways, and just like forcing that on people. It's not about that. It's about saying we are all in this together. We are all human beings. We're all cut from the same energetic cloth of love. And doing whatever we can to help each other return to that as much as we can. Our world needs it. You and I need it. And, there are lots of ways we can do that. So, wow, there's a big storm cloud behind me. Storm cloud, can you see that? Wow. So anyway, I feel like Dorothy in Wizard of Oz. No, I'm not. Think positive, Krista. You're not. You'll be fine. Don't worry. I'm not going to wake up with red shoes and everything in colors suddenly when it's been black and white. All right. I'm sending you all so much love, always. If you would like any help being able to find and welcome in love in your life, if there's a part of you that has been afraid, if you have issues, life patterns that keep coming up again and again, please get in contact. If you feel called to, if you are drawn to what I'm sharing, and if you're drawn to my energy, and if you can feel my heart and my warmth, because I am here to help, genuinely. That is my tied number one. I think I've tied 3 number 1 life purposes of being on this planet and in this body and on this earth right now. And that is one of the big ones. And yeah, I'm here to help. And I want to help. And I care about you all so much. And any pain, any worries, any fears, you don't need to do this stuff alone. That's a lesson that took me a while to figure out, and I'm so grateful I finally did. So I'm here to help you. And whether it's me or anyone else, just please reach out and know that you don't have to live your life alone. And you don't have to go through your struggles alone. And that actually, we don't need to be going through struggles at all. That's another beautiful key. Yeah, so anyway, I'm thinking of you. I'm sending you all the best. And thank you for bearing with me as I've been going up this big hill and it's starting to rain again. Saw the cloud, big surprise, eh? All right, I'm thinking of you. I hope you have a happy Sunday. Take care of yourself, embrace your loved ones, say hi to a stranger, give them a smile. Our world needs more love. and more positive, caring action. Thank you all. Bye. Mwah. Take care. Bye. Hey, just a quick update in case you were wondering. It did bucket it down. It's now sunny. Once again, I literally had to hide underneath and seek shelter underneath a bush. So I'm drenched, and yeah, I just had to give a quick update because that was a bit ominous of an ending, wasn't it? Okay, take care everyone. I'm sending you so much love. Bye.